director cuts right, they make me appreciate the alien storyline more. But you know, like that's just me though. When it comes to some of those, like the aliens from the planet Zeist. But I agree with you though. Like it was okay.
Yeah.
Like that first movie was just all right. No, the fact that it had it had like a TV series and
Yeah.
fucking
It ran for a long time. It's it had three of four films, but the fourth one's kind of weird because it tried to marry up the movie continuity with the television show continuity.
Yeah, a few movies at the time did that. Like what was uh the Star Trek one where that sort of crossed over and merged TVs with movies. Like that was one that did it as
Yeah,
well. And
you had
I think Babylon 5 might have flirted around with it as well.
yeah, Star Trek Generations in I think 94 or 95. It brought back Shatner with the cast of the Next Generation.
I think that's just about everyone there. If I'm forgetting anyone, well, that's my bad. And what was the last movie? What was that? The Source? I think it was.
Could be. So from my memory, there was Highlander 1, Highlander 2, The Quickening. Highlander 3 has a few different titles depending on where you are in the world. I think
Was
here it
was
was
that
called...
Endgame? I think it was, wasn't it?
No, that was
Oh, what?
Highlander 3. In the US, it was called The Final Dimension. But out here, it was called The Sorcerer. Or I could have them around the wrong way. And then
Yeah.
Highlander
All
4
right.
was Endgame.
Okay. Yeah. It was a bit diff like that, wasn't it? I actually didn't mind Endgame. Like, what? Who was it? Bruce Payne, I think, was the villain in that. I actually didn't
Yeah, he
mind
was
that
cool,
one.
yeah.
He was fucking awesome. Yeah. What? Jacob Kell, I think the character's name was.
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. I liked him and his little gang in that movie.
Yeah. Like, what? Hasn't he killed like 600 something immortals? Like, with all the quickenings that he's had and that kind of jazz. And to be honest with you, I actually don't mind Adrian Paul. Like, by the end of it, I actually think Duncan had a bit more meat on the bones than what Connor did. You know, fucking shoot me.
Understandable.
I mean,
He had, what? He had like 600 episodes to flesh him out, so...
well, I mean, yeah, but, you know, aliens, right?
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I can't remember any of the villains from the other movies.
Katana is played by Michael Ironside. He's in the second one.
Yeah.
And Mario Van Peebles plays Kane in the third one. It's sad I know this. Katana wasn't too bad.
Well, at least you're owning
Michael
it, right?
Ironside. Michael Ironside gives good value in most things, but yeah, Mario Van Peebles, who's a pretty good actor in his own right, was a bit hit and miss. The problem is again, it suffers from the storyline was done. Like when the tagline of the movie is "There can be only one," Connor wins the prize. That's it. But then they start pulling all these different immortals out of their asses
You
to
know,
restore his powers.
the thing that lost me was like the misconception that the immortal species are actually called Highlanders. Like you've got like these immortals rocking up, and they're like from like some yakuza branch or some shit, and they say like we're Highlanders. Like, no, you're not. Like, you're not
Yeah.
from the Scottish Highlands. Like, why are you saying
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, that annoys me as well.
Yeah, like I mean, like
When they don't.
you got like these fucking immortals from Sweden and stuff like that saying that they're Highlanders. Like, but you're not though.
Yeah, when the writers from the later stuff are a bit slack with their terminology, it's kind of annoying. Yeah, he's only called that because yeah, he's from Scotland. Um, yeah, the actual race are called immortals. That's how I always sort of took it. And he's he was born in the Scottish Highlands, so he's the Highlander.
See, the thing that gets
Um,
me the most about it is I can actually handle the aliens from the planet Zeist. What I can't handle, what I can't handle is the flying around with fucking jetpacks and laser guns.
oh yeah,
That's a bit much. Like you know that moment in Tango and Cash
yeah,
with Kurt Russell blowing a guy's head off with a fucking hand grenade is a touch much. Like when they're like done up like orbital drop shock troopers like ODST. Yeah, that's a bit
yeah.
much. I can't take. It's like fucking the Wraith. Do you remember the Wraith?
Oh yeah, the car movie.
Yeah. It reminds me a little bit of that.
Yeah, those two futuristic hunters in the second one.
Because it's almost like, well, what else was coming out at the time for them to go the sci-fi way? Like what, Dark Angel?
Yeah, I'll have to because there's a documentary on the DVD and there's a commentary. Yeah, I'd love to know why they went with a sci-fi
I'm just trying to think
sort of
what
genre.
was happening at the time. Or what was the release of Highlander 2?
1991 or two,
Yeah, that's what I thought. 91. I was gonna say
somewhere around
93.
that era. Yeah, yeah, it could have been even earlier. Yeah, it's definitely in the 90s.
And it's pre Power Rangers. It's pre prequel trilogy. I wonder why they went with
Yeah.
that. You know
Well, there's
what?
a whole plot point about the Earth's climate and the ozone layer. That was pretty big news around then with global warming and that sort of stuff. So they may have got inspiration from that.
It's sad that you know this. Yeah, these fucking wolves. Get away from me, shit heel. That reminds me, actually, before I forget. All right, Metin, you gotta stop letting her boss you around. That's what I reckon. Would she really like you as a friend? I forgot what a pain in the ass some of the wildlife is around here. So what brought up the Highlander 2 kick at the moment?
Well, like I mentioned, yeah, there's a new one coming out, and I've never actually got around to seeing any of the alternative cuts. They've been on my wish list for a while. Yeah, believe it or not, I've only ever seen the Alien version, but that was a long, long time ago.
Well,
I've hardly ever revisited Highlander 2
yeah,
or
okay.
3. Um,
I've
but I have
revisited Endgame quite a lot though. I quite like that one.
I've watched Endgame, yeah, once or twice over the years, and I've seen the first one sort of somewhat semi-regularly,
Yeah.
and I've watched the occasional sort of television show episode. So yeah, that just sort of I thought, now's probably the perfect time to get the Renegade because yeah, there's a few different cuts. There's the Renegade cut, and there's one called I was researching the home releases Highlander 2, the special edition. But what annoyed me about that is they omitted, and I hate when companies do this. There must be some sort of licensing issue or something. They didn't carry over the commentaries or some of the special features. So there's a Highlander 2 director's cut, which is what it's labeled, which is it's not labeled as the Renegade cut, but they omit the commentary by Russell Mulcahy and the producer,
Yeah,
which really annoyed
they
me.
do that a lot on those Transformer 86 re-releases. Like I think the only one to this day that has the McFeely commentary is the 20th anniversary DVD. I don't think any other version of that has that track.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a shame because that's a brilliant
Yeah, it's
commentary.
fucking annoying. Like I remember when my mate picked up the Blu-ray of it, and he's just like, "Where's this Chris McFeely track that I'm hearing so much about?" I'm like, "It should be there." He's like, "Well, it's not." um, fucking
Yeah.
all right then. Well, then I know not to get the Blu-ray of that.
Yeah, because he did those commentaries for a company called Metronome in the UK, but out here it was licensed by Madman Entertainment, and they had them. Yeah, they had all because Chris McFeely also did the commentaries for the Japanese Headmaster series. But interestingly enough, we didn't get them. Madman brought out the Japanese series, and yeah, McFeely's commentaries aren't on those, and I was kind of annoyed with that. But they are available on YouTube if you look them up. Um, because yeah, he's got there's a bit of an art to a commentary to be able to talk really quickly, but very concisely and succinctly, and to tell these
Get
sort of
away from me, you
anecdotes
fuck.
and sort of the history and the production and all that while still commenting and not losing the flow of what's on screen. There's a real art to it. And it seemed to be sort of, it wasn't natural. He has talked about he took lots of notes and things like that and was well prepared, but yeah, it's a real art to it. Um, the three best commentaries I've ever heard was that one, Guillermo del Toro's for Mimic when that um, director's cut came out, and Jim Cameron's Titanic. They're the three best commentaries I've heard.
Is that the Jim Cameron Titanic one where he goes, "I don't believe in commentaries because I think the final movie should speak for itself," and it like he just sort of
Yes.
bags commentaries for the intro of it. Oh well, I'm
Yeah, well, he
fucked
resisted
now.
it for a long time. Yeah, he did resist it for a long time because a lot of the earlier releases of his films didn't have a commentaries. Uh, the old, yeah, the first couple of releases of T2 never had one. It was only with the T2 Ultimate Edition. He sat down with William Wisher and did one. He has never done a commentary, as far as I know, for Terminator 1. But yeah, it was just by popular demand. Like, just the fan demand to have him sit down and talk about his movies was, yeah, it just finally got to him. So he finally um, sat down with Titanic and did one. But that whole film is a blast. The commentary as well with the two historians, the Titanic experts, is worth a listen to as well. Um, and just all the clever ways Cameron incorporated historical moments into the film, like the Titanic experts were saying shots were definitely fired that night. Um, and because yeah, like there were a lot of guns on Titanic. They found a lot of guns at the wreckage and things like that. And it was only a couple of years removed from like the Wild West. So, and of course you replay the film in your mind. It's when Cal is chasing them through the the lower level, shooting at them, and you think, wow, like that was a really clever way to sort of put that into his film.
Yeah, but that's only in the extended version though, isn't it?
Uh, yeah, yeah, it's slightly trimmed. It was a bit more elaborate. With it's either Cal or Lovejoy stalking them through the dining room. They, yeah, it's significantly trimmed down for the finished film, where he sort of Lovejoy's trying to lead him away, and he sort of reaches in and grabs the gun and takes off after them. It's sort of shooter with the golden jacket. Dun
Yeah,
dun dun dun
yeah.
dun.
Every time I see that scene with Lovejoy, that's the first thing that pops into my head.
Yeah.
Um,
but it was a lot more elaborate in
Hang
where
on.
they're
I
hiding.
think the thing that I'm thinking of is when Lovejoy is stalking them. I think that's completely removed. Like the ship is sinking for fuck's sake. They're in enough danger. We don't really need this.
Yeah, and I learned that the hard way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't you read online the comment sections where they say every deleted scene needs to stay in the movie regardless of the quality of it? Like, I mean, like those T2 deleted scenes. Like, thank fuck they're removed. Like
Yeah.
they're terrible. And the funny thing about them is, in a lot of ways, that they were repurposed for those later movies. Like, do you remember the deleted scene in T2 when John tells the Terminator to smile, and it has that moment where it scans that guy and then it tries to smile, and
Yeah.
fucking and then Genesis comes out and does that exact thing. I wonder with Genesis though. I wonder with that, did they try to do the smile joke as like the first time they thought of it, like they didn't even realize it was in a earlier movie and it was removed because it was a shit joke.
Yeah, well, a lot of the later sequels were just recycling sort of Cameron's bad ideas. Um, Pretty much every rejected Cameron idea eventually made it into a finished movie,
Yeah.
which sort of says a lot about the sort of quality of the later stuff.
Well, I think a female Terminator was one that he had that he sort of gave up on.
Yeah, and sort of jumping back and forward in time. It can get really silly really quickly, which proved to be true.
All right, you know what we're gonna do. Yeah, like there was one scene that I really did like, right? And it was the other ship that gets the SOS,
Yeah,
and it's surrounded by icebergs, like they're moored where they are. But the
yeah. Well,
problem,
they did something sensible, didn't they? Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's a great little beat. But the problem is that when we're on board, we need to stay on board. Like we have to leave the main setting of the film to have that cool moment, and it's I think the price tag of that is just a bit too high.
Yeah, well, it worked fine in the script, but yeah, when it's put into the movie and filmed and that, yeah, it does sort of break the flow and rhythm, and it takes you out of the story just to cut back. And he did it with more subtle ways, like
Yeah.
Ismay and the captain arguing uh with the notices and the warnings they keep getting. So you can hear it sort of bubbling along in in the background.
You know what? You
Um,
put Jonathan Hyde in anything and I'll watch it.
yeah, he's pretty good, Jonathan Hyde.
Yeah, that was Ismay, right?
Yeah, he was in Jumanji and he was the butler in Richie Rich. A few other things.
Richie Rich. What, 94, I want to say?
Oh, around then, yeah. John Larroquette, Macaulay Culkin.
Well, that all sounds reasonable to me. But it was like, really, guys, it was like the best era. Was it though? See, now, you mentioned something before, right? Fucking up a movie so bad you've literally had to hack it to pieces to remove all references and all of that, like the alien Zeit from the planet Zeiss and all that kind of thing. And like, imagine doing that to something like Star Wars, to remove something like the Force if you fucked it up that badly. Like, the thing that gets me about that is because you see a lot of people bring this up with the original trilogy of Star Wars. Oh, they're very well edited films. Like, an editing job can only do so fucking much, right?
Yeah, I mean, a bad performance is a bad performance.
Yeah.
Editing can't change that. It can maybe be punch up a scene here and there, but I don't think a film lives and dies by its editing. Um, there's only so much an editor can do.
Well, any fucking comment section would argue the toss on that.
Oh, well, that's just, if you're referring to Star Wars, it's just, low-hanging fruit. Um, People have an axe to grind with Lucas. Although I read sadly the other day that, was it Marsha? Her last name escapes me. She passed away. The original editor of Star Wars, Lucas's ex-wife or his first wife.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know who
Is
you're
it
talking
Marsha?
about. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you'll find some fans looking to make some hay. There was a book. It's kind of a weird book. But it's designed to tap into a lot of the prequel hate. Like there was a book I was reading at an airport once, and like the whole premise of the book is the Star Wars trilogy was a success, and like George Lucas had nothing to do with it. Um, he pretty much goes through the entire trilogy and sidelines George and gives the credit to everyone else. And you just know it's playing to that sort of fucking crowd. And the proof is in the pudding, because for a long time before the sequels were produced, that was the plan to fix Star Wars. That was the magic bullet. You just have to get George Lucas away from it, and hallelujah, we can't lose. And what we learned, the sobering lesson from the sequels, was developing a Star Wars film isn't easy. It's not as easy as it sounds.
Yeah. Well, that's sort of my mindset on it. We'll keep bringing him out. You only make him look better, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they do in a lot of ways. Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Like all these people that are saying we need Disney to stop making Star Wars movies. No, by all means, keep making them.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, He-Man failed because of lack of marketing.
Yeah, a bit sad, but understandable. I mean, it's a flop. There's no ifs, buts, or maybes. It has not performed
Yeah.
well. Interestingly enough, they seem pretty keen to make a sequel. It's Amazon, from what I'm reading, a lot of it sounds like wishful thinking to me, but box office apparently is not the be all and end all for Amazon. They have other metrics that they judge a film's success by. They expect it to do um, big numbers on streaming, but it was expected to do big numbers at the box office, and that didn't happen. It got absolutely annihilated by the Backrooms, Disclosure Day, and Toy Story 5 has just fucking monstered everything this week. So it's quickly faded away.
I saw a good comment when I was, on my online travels regarding Masters of the Universe, and it cracked me up. And it was, are you genuinely surprised that the movie flopped? I mean, it's a property that's almost 50 years old, that no one really gives a fuck about anymore, that's only been kept like in internet gifs and all of that through a song about how gay the main character looks. Like, are you genuinely surprised that Masters of the Universe didn't stick the landing?
Well, I thought it would do better than what it did.
Yeah.
Um, but I watched the Red Letter Media review of it, and I thought Jay made a good point. The time to do it was, at least 15 years ago. If it had come out around the 2010s, 2010, maybe 2015, that was the sweet spot. But because people forget, it's been in development a long time. It's been in development hell for a long time. I first remember reading an article back in 2003 that Justin Marks was writing a script for Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
So that's over 20 years ago that they were looking to bring He-Man back for a new movie. And and I said this tonight, if people were alive as kids when Masters of the Universe was at its peak, they're closer to being a grandfather now. than
Yeah.
being a father, you know. um, so they missed their window. Like all the fans of Masters of the Universe as children have adult children, you know. um, so, but if it had to come out in 2010, when like the kids of the 80s, when their children were sort of younger or teenagers, that would have been, um, it probably would have been better. But they've sort of missed the nostalgia train by a couple of decades, and I think it's got real concerns now for Voltron. I read a story, I don't know where, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's talk that Voltron will go directly to streaming. They won't even bother with a theatrical release. Because if a big 80s property like He-Man can fail, I think Voltron probably has a bit more pull in the public consciousness. It had a successful Netflix series that ran for about 5 seasons, and it was sort of well regarded. So maybe Voltron is a bit more visible in the public consciousness, whereas the Netflix He-Man series that Kevin Smith did was, was not well received. So Voltron may have a bit more going for it, but I'd probably be a bit concerned if I was the producers, because yeah, He-Man, and it goes to show like clicks and likes and retweets don't translate into tickets sold. The trailer came out, it got millions and millions of views, but it didn't motivate people to go and buy a ticket. Um, so yeah, the marketing was huge, and yeah, it just didn't respond because yeah, I just don't understand how a trailer can get over a million or two views, and yeah, it just didn't really trend. No one, people saw it and liked it, but as in the trailer, but it didn't motivate them to go and buy a ticket, and that's where the film failed. It was very visible, the marketing, but it did not motivate people to check it out, which is a bit sad because the reviews have been good. Um, all the reviews, and Jay from Red Letter Media said a good point. Masters of the Universe will get good reviews and flop. Scary Movie 5 will get absolutely shit reviews and romp at home. And he was right.
No, because I thought people would pull it's the lack of marketing excuse, because that's what they
Yeah.
did with because that's what they did with Transformers 1, right?
Yeah, that's what they did with Transformers 1. I haven't seen a whole lot of that. I think, yeah, the Masters of the Universe fans are taking it on the chin, which is great. Because I think we're more grateful than anything else. You know, to be eating like a king now. There was a time when the Dolph Lundgren film, that was all we got. That's all it will ever be. So to have another big screen adaptation that is much more faithful to the show with much more characters, um, that everyone knows and loves, like I'm eating like a fucking king. um, so, because a lot of from the 1987 film, some of those characters were made up solely for the film, but you know, this new film we had He-Man and Skeletor and Evil Lyn and Ram Man and Fisto and Cringer and Beastman and Trapjaw, and like there were just so many characters that that looked incredible. Not only, yeah, like they just stepped out of the cartoon, and I really warmed to Idris Elba's performance as Man at Arms. He gave a good performance, but so did most of them. It's a shame it didn't do well because it deserved to do well. At least I don't think it deserved to be an outright smash hit, but
Yeah,
I think it deserved to do better than what it did.
there's a little mix in there somewhere.
Yeah, I think yeah, as the King's Man at Arms, I've kicked a lot of ass in my time. He sort of had me from that line.
I still haven't seen it, man, because pretty much the nearest cinema to me is like 4 fucking hours away, and that's one way. All right,
Yeah.
I'm not doing an 8 hour round trip for fucking He Man. All right,
Well, I wouldn't do that for anything.
yeah, like
Okay, well, I
get
was in the
bent.
same boat.
Like I'm not
I
doing
haven't,
that.
I haven't been to the movies in years. I saw two in 2 days. So it's either feast or famine, isn't it? I was hoping to check out Disclosure Day, but yeah, I'm very busy. So if I'm going to go to the movies, it's got to be in the sweet spot where I can sort of shoot in and out. But there's a ton of good stuff to that's on its way. The Odyssey is coming out next month. That's really exciting. I'm going to sit down and read Stephen Fry's version of the Odyssey. It's been on my book list, my bookshelf for a while, but yeah, he's a terrific writer, and I really want to get his version of the Odyssey. A24 have a cool one. It's called Onslaught that's coming out
Oh
um,
yeah.
in a couple of months. It looks really good. With and I'm really excited about Werewolf that's coming out on Boxing Day. Uh, where some images are slowly leaking out about that one. It sounds really cool, set in 13th century England. Aaron Taylor Johnson's in it, and they've released an image. He looks like he's some sort of hunter. Um, yeah, I'm really excited with some of these sort of films. Don't Move looks like a good one as well. It's about I just sort of read the synopsis. A church group is going on their annual retreat, and they're stalked by a giant prehistoric spider that can hunt by sensing movement. Um, and one of the top comments was, "Ian, freeze!" How funny was that?
Yeah, like look, I think the issue with me is that I'm well and truly into that phase now of man, I'll never go to the movies again. Because they're literally all fucking closing down around me.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of them are closing. It's
I think that iceberg hit a long time ago, and we're just sort of fast tracking it now. But don't worry. As long as Nerdrotic says we just need to make movies cool again. Well, I think the idea of leaving your home to go to the cinema just doesn't like fuck that.
yeah,
like
it's a
like
lot of them
I
are
think that's like the
closing down.
genuine. I think that's the genuine attitude towards it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was talking to the lady when I went to see the back rooms. Um, so I saw the back rooms on a Wednesday, and as I was getting served, she said not one person went to the movies the day before. And you just think, wow, like in a town as big as where I live, not one single person went to the movie theater. And I'm thinking, if that's true, cinemas aren't dying, they're dead. But um, when I came out of the, when I came out of the showing, there was a bit more life. The place was jumping. But yeah, that's what she said when she served me. They they opened, and not a single person went to a single showing.
well, that's a pretty cruisy fucking job.
Well, not for long, if that doesn't improve.
I mean, you're not. I mean, you're not too busy, are you, Lloyd? Yeah. I mean, the one here is still like I heard it had something to do with like some electrical wiring or something like that. Um, I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
I've heard all sorts of bullshit about the one that's where I live. Um, and I've just resigned myself to the fact, like I've said it, and people hate me for saying it, and just it's not opening up again, mate. Like it's done, it's over,
Mm.
and the sooner you
Well, it
start
was,
accepting
I
that, the
remember
better off
it
we're
was,
all gonna be.
yeah, it's been through that before. Like I think I remember there was a time it was closed for a couple of years. But yeah, to bring a building up to um, a modern day
It's
fire
it's
code.
gonna be more hassle than what it's worth.
Yeah, most likely, yeah, depending on the age of the building and what condition it's in and whatnot.
Yeah, but that was just me, man. Like, nah, I'm cool. I can handle it. So what does that mean? The last movie I ever saw at a theater would have been Jurassic World Rebirth, I think. That would have been
Okay.
the last one I saw, and that's
Well, you saw Superman, didn't you?
I said
Didn't you
what
see Superman
I think.
last year?
Did I? I think I did.
Yeah.
Well, again, like that same year. Like, didn't they come out like the same fucking week?
Oh, that's sorry. Yeah, sorry. I thought you said Dominion. No,
Nah,
Rebirth. Yeah, Rebirth
yeah,
came
like
out last year.
didn't
Yeah.
Rebirth and Superman come out the same week?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I thought first you said, yeah,
Yeah,
I get these Jurassic Worlds mixed up. Dominion, Rebirth.
yeah.
Um,
All this shit sounds the same. Like,
yeah, it really does. It's what annoys me about the Spider-Man movies. They all sound the same,
yeah,
even if
like
I wanted to get into them.
what's this? Yeah, I don't give a shit about this new Spider-Man movie. What is this? That what? One more day or brand new day or
Yeah,
fucking whatever it's called or tight ass Tuesday.
yeah,
like I don't
it's
know whatever it's called. I'm like,
yeah, it's Homecoming, No Way Home, If I Get Home, When I
yeah,
Make It Home.
yeah. All these movies sound shit.
Yeah,
Like I don't like any of them. Well, I'm not overly enthusiastic about Tom Holland. I wasn't exactly overcome with desire there. But by the time those movies started coming out, like I wasn't even actively following the MCU. Like I saw like I think two movies at that point. Oh yeah, but we got to go and check out Spider-Man: Homecoming. Nah, I'm good.
yeah.
I don't have to do that. So is this new one meant to be adapting Mephisto? That stupid storyline?
Uh, yeah, I'm not too sure. Even they aren't that stupid, surely. But I was telling a guy last weekend, come on, Marvel, prove you have some balls. Adapt Sin's past.
Yeah. Oh, that's the pregnant
Uh,
Gwen with the
yeah,
fucking
and
the goblin babies or whatever it was. Oh, that was
yeah,
fucked up. Sin's
what?
past.
Yeah, that Norman porked Gwen. Yeah, that's fucked up.
But one thing about Sin's past that I find quite interesting is that that's the only time I could think of in any like ongoing story, like massive ongoing story with a character that's been in that kind of publication, right? That readers collectively just said fuck off.
Yeah,
Like
we
I can't
retconned it.
I yeah, like it never happened. Like I can't think of another time where that's flat out happened, right?
Yeah, because it turns out MJ knew about it all along. Oh my God, that's even
Yeah, which
worse.
makes her look like a complete fucking
Yeah.
lunatic as well.
Um, I think they could do the Mephisto angle because Mephisto has appeared in the MCU. He's played by Sacha Baron Cohen.
Hmm.
I forget what show or film he was in though. But I'd like to think they're sort of rage baiting with the title. I think deep down, even Marvel ain't that stupid.
I reckon do it. But you know what I find funny about One More Day is so what the whole idea of it was to dissolve the marriage between Peter and MJ, right? Because
Yeah.
like who was our story runner at the time? Who said he inherited the curse of a married Peter Parker? Like you're talking about Peter Parker, not a pussy hound like Dick Grayson. Um, like what? Yeah, he inherited the curse of a married Spider-Man, and he wanted to dissolve that. But what I find funny, I don't know if you ever saw the whiteboard, like the bullet list meeting. Of shit that they want, like, oh, we got this Mephisto deal, right? Oh, but what we can also do is walk back Gwen's death, like, but someone finally nipped it in the bud, going, look, you can't you can't just send this issue out and say the last 60 years of publication meant fucking nothing. Like we can walk back Harry's death, we can walk back Gwen's death.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to do more than just basically he wanted to put everything back in its original place with that Mephisto deal. Like fuck off. Also, why does
Yeah.
Mephisto give a shit about Peter and Mary Jane's marriage? Like why does he give a shit about that?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because they considered this before as an ending to the Clone Saga. It was Kurt Busiek that pretty much smacked some sense into him. He pretty much bluntly said Mephisto is not a Spider-Man villain. He doesn't belong in there any more than Loki belongs in a Punisher story. And yeah, that when you sort of look at it from that angle, he's completely right. Yeah, why would Mephisto care about um, Peter Parker? He's a supernatural, cosmic sort of villain. Like he belongs in Ghost Rider and other things like that.
Uh,
So
just made a mention here that the Punisher is also in this new movie or whatever.
yeah,
Um,
that's correct. Yeah, John Bernthal. Yeah,
yeah, all right. Well, I kind of sit back and I think, you know, what you just said there, like, Mephisto doesn't belong in a Spider Man story any more than Loki belongs in a Punisher story. I'm willing to bet you at this day and age, Loki has appeared in a fucking Punisher comic.
yeah, more than likely. Yeah, John Bernthal. He's done good with that character. Because I watched the first couple of seasons of the Daredevil show when Netflix had control of it. Yeah, he's pretty good in that. He lives up to his name. The Punisher kills a lot of people in that show. A lot of people. Yeah, but they were all bad.
Yeah, well, you asked me something that you'd think I'd normally lie about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mephisto, mate. I remember seeing that panel art when Mephisto's like, yeah, but I want Spider Man's marriage. Why do you give a fuck about it? Like, like, what are you doing here? You know, it's like that little fuckers moment when Kevin's like, our dear friend the Buddha. How's he doing? Do you ever listen to yourself, Kevin?
Yeah, it's a bit sad because they threw out a lot of sort of growth um, with the character, but it's sort of an issue that can happen when when people who read this stuff as fans become creators themselves and eventually get put in charge of the character. There is a tendency to put it back to how it was when you were a kid, and we saw that with something like The Force Awakens. Like J.J. Abrams saw that film and saw the Star Wars and loved it as a kid. So when he gets in a position uh, of creativity over it, Han is back to being a smuggler. The galaxy's back to how it was, you know, when the original films were set. And that's sort of true with what happened to Spider-Man. If you read Spider-Man in the 70s, Peter was a single guy. Um, so guys like Joe Quesada and Bill Jemas, but I don't think Bill Jemas read comics as a boy, but he sort of realized Marvel sort of let the character age maybe a bit too much. But I personally never had a problem with the marriage. I started reading Spider-Man in the 1990s and he was a married guy. And to me, that was sort of never an issue.
Hmm.
Tom Brevitt says to not like Spider-Man as a single guy is like, he makes this weird analogy. It's about trying to explain to someone who's colorblind what the color orange is. I mean, isn't your life richer if you have orange in it? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about, mate? um,
Hang on,
it's
and this
yeah, I
is
don't know.
what, and this is his pitch to dissolve the marriage.
Yeah, I think from memory, I could be wrong. It was mainly Joe Quesada. He was the one who wanted to get rid of the marriage the most. A lot of writers, you can get some dramatic and romantic tension if he's single, and you can introduce new sort of characters. Like he's had like a fair few more love interests since then. there was Michelle, I forget her last name. I think she was a cop, sort of around the Brand New Day era. And I think he's been in other relationships since then. So yeah, but it just seems sort of it's all yeah, I don't know, it's a weird one. I personally never had a problem with him married. I'd actually sort of prefer him married. They brought out during the 2015 Secret Wars the Spider-Man Friendly Neighborhood miniseries, and that sold a ton because it's set in a world where the marriage still existed. Um, yeah, I thought they had the right sort of balance with the Ultimate Universe. Like that follows a young teenage Parker, and then you have the more mainstream one where he's older and married. I always felt that was a nice balance. You can sort of read whatever version you want. Occasionally, we do go through these periods where we don't fuck everything completely. Um,
They're rare
you know,
though.
like
They're becoming increasingly rare though.
yeah, because you had like the Superman titles, and I remember back in the 2000s, they were like there was just such a good balance. Like one of the books was the sort of straight up superhero stuff. Another one of the books plays up the more science fiction-y stuff because Superman can work kind of anywhere. And it's
Yeah.
true with Batman as well. Like one of them was the straight up superhero. One of them was sort of the crime solving detective book, and one sort of treated him as like this sort of spooky boogeyman. And it was just, yeah, there was like with characters that huge, there's multiple different takes, and you find the one that you like.
What would you say was probably the worst decade for one of these characters? Because I gotta be honest, man, as much as people have like this reverence for the 90s era of Spider Man, fuck, that decade was not easy on him at all.
Probably, yeah, in terms of critical reception, the 1990s were probably the worst for Spider-Man. There's not too many stories from memory that hit the sort of high point. Um, but I also don't really like the 2000s either. There was some good stuff in there. Joe Michael Straczynski's run started out okay. But yeah, Brand New Day is when I sort of tapped out because it's just so cynical. It's not the 1970s anymore. Like, I'm sorry, fellas. You may have to let it go. Um, but let's just, yeah, let's pretend the last 40 years of character development haven't happened, and let's just put him back to being this sort of single, you know, sort of knob. I don't know. It didn't sort of sit right with me, and
Single
I,
knob. I'm gonna remember that.
yeah, I don't know. It's just I thought he'd come a long way, and it was to sort of put it back, and they definitely and quite rightly. I mean, Spider-Man's a brand, and you don't want to and it needs to be an evergreen brand, and you probably can't do that if he's married with kids. Spider-Man should always be sort of late teens, early 20s, single, around that era. Bart Simpson's been in the fourth grade for what, 40 years. It can be done.
Nah, man, it's got to go older because I can't wait to see a Spider-Man who's had the shit kicked out of him by life. Hang on, but that was an actual comment that you saw, right, in regards to Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi, wasn't it? It was like,
Yes.
I can't wait. Like, and this is genuine enthusiasm in this comment. I can't wait to see a Luke Skywalker that's had the shit kicked out of him by life.
Yes, I do.
That
Well, I
that
read it
is
from
that
somewhere.
is fucking insane.
Yeah, as if I would ever say something like that off the cuff. Yeah, I definitely read it somewhere from someone.
like this is a guy, like this is coming from a fan, right? That'll talk about it with like such reverence and all of that, and that's what they're genuinely looking forward to. He's like thrice divorced, kids fucking hate him, mother-in-law stinging him, all this sort of shit. Yeah, I can't wait to see a Luke Skywalker who's going through that kind of shit.
Yeah.
See, that's what I reckon. I reckon all these characters need to be washed out, weeping alcoholics.
Yeah, it's a uh what's the right way to put it? There's this school of thought that you sort of do the unforgiven take on a character. So Clint Eastwood brought out this movie in the early 90s, Unforgiven, and it's a very powerful film because it's funny, you talk to some really big Clint Eastwood fans, they're not fans of that film because he's subverting the characters he's played, like, you know, the outlaw Josie Wales and Pale Rider and High Plains Drifter and the Man with No Name. Um, you know, these sort of unstoppable cowboy heroic characters that just kick all this ass. And you get to Unforgiven, and he's retired. He can barely get a sheep farm working. He slips over and falls in mud. He's just a sort of pathetic mess of a man until Morgan Freeman comes along and they settle up for one last mission. And there was a school of thought that uh, the Last Jedi is like the Unforgiven of Luke Skywalker. Now, there's a reason why Clint Eastwood's movie worked and Episode 8 didn't. It's because I think Mark Hamill, as good as he is as Luke Skywalker, has not made a career out of playing Luke Skywalker characters.
Mm.
He Some of his more better roles are villains, like he voices the Joker, and he was a villain in The Flash, and other things like that. So he's played a lot of villainous characters throughout his career. So I think that's one of the reasons why it didn't work. Whereas Clint Eastwood had a huge career in westerns in that genre, playing a certain type of hero.
Yeah.
And because he also directed Unforgiven, he was very good at deconstructing and subverting it to the point. Yeah, it's kind of funny because a lot of Clint Eastwood fans don't like Unforgiven, and it's probably his most critically acclaimed work. It won a couple of Oscars, and um, yeah, there's a lot of interesting themes sort of going on in it because mainly obviously about forgiveness and things like that because he doesn't need much arm twisting. He's like this sort of brutal killer that's sort of retired and he's trying to go straight for his children. But when Morgan Freeman offers him one last job, he doesn't need much arm twisting. he,
It's to be,
he's,
yeah, the only reason I got out of the life was to be reluctantly called back in. You don't look reluctant, you look pretty eager to want to do this again.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's a really interesting film. Um, but yeah, so I understand why it worked for Clint and it didn't work so well for Ryan and Mark.
Can I be I'll tell you this for nothing. I actually don't mind Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi because slowly but surely I'm turning into him the older I get.
Yeah.
So like just this grumpy dickhead. I think that's what Duncan Casey said. Like he's basically just a grumpy dickhead for the entire movie, and when he dies, you don't really care. That's sort of how I'm getting. Like the older I get, the more I'm becoming him. So yeah, so
Yeah, that's right.
it really doesn't bother me, but I like throwing that out there just to sort of piss these guys off from time to time. I'll be like, I actually think the Ryan Johnson take on Luke is very accurate because that's exactly what I imagine Luke to be 30 years after the fact.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it.
I mean, do you remember all the pissing blood when that movie came out? About, I mean, it's hard to believe it was almost a decade ago. Like
Yeah,
it
it is
doesn't
hard to believe.
it doesn't feel like it was that long ago, eh? But this is something
No, it
you
doesn't.
like. This is something you mentioned. Like the Last Jedi came out in 2017, right? And we're almost a decade removed from that, but it doesn't feel like it's been that long. And then you look at something like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and that feels like it came out 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah, yeah, it's weird how that works.
Well, obviously, restore the Snyderverse, right?
Yeah. Keep dreaming, fellas.
I mean, honestly, now, the fact that that goes like, I really like Fact Fiend when they talk about that. They're like, it's for some fucked up reason it trends like once a month. I mean, you got like a fucking rebooted universe. And hang on, wait a minute. What were they saying? Like, isn't it getting animated or some shit? Like, I love that. I love that mindset. Just animate it. That's easy enough. Like, fuck animation is annoying. like it,
Yeah.
like like. It, I mean, the amount of time, money, and effort you got to sink into that. Fuck that.
Yeah, I saw a trailer. I was surprised. This one caught me off guard. The DC animated films are doing a three-part adaptation of Nightfall. The first trailer dropped a day or two ago. It looks
Oh,
really cool.
all right.
Um,
Is it too much to ask that we're gonna have Blue Robot, um, as real, or are we gonna cater to these
yeah,
fuck stains
yeah.
who don't like it?
No, Azrael's definitely there in his Order of Saint Dumas costume and the Nightfall costume. Yeah, it looks really good. Um, Hopefully they stick the landing and giving it a whole trilogy. That'll give the story room to breathe. Yeah, I was sold. I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, but this is where they'll do something dumb like Batman fucking, porks Batgirl.
Well, you can't rule it out.
Like I understand why they added that crap into the Killing Joke, right? Because it's not that big of a book. Like it's barely like what 100 pages,
Yeah.
like all in all. Like so,
Yeah, the Killing
obviously,
Joke is, yeah, even less. The Killing Joke's about 48 pages, I think. Yeah, it's not very long at all.
yeah. So what ends up happening is you got to add this padding and this fluff to it to sort of get it to the bare minimum of what can be counted as an animated feature movie. So then you got to add in all this bullshit like Paris, France.
Yeah. Yeah, I tapped out. I saw that scene with Batgirl and just went, oh, I've got better things to do with my life.
I remember I sat down right and to watch the Zack Snyder's Justice League, and when I pressed play and the opening credits like were fading in and out, and it was slow motion Superman screaming, I stopped it right then and there, and then I think I started watching Treehouse of Horror episodes from The Simpsons. Like I had that very same feeling when it was doing
Yeah.
the recap in slow motion. I've got better shit to be doing. But I'd much rather watch Hell to Pay.
Yeah.
The Thing and I.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that cut in its entirety. I mean, mostly, I suppose that the real reason for that is the people that do like it are just incredibly fucking annoying. Like they put me off of it.
Yeah. No, I come full circle. I want a Ray movie, bloody, because I just know it annoys the piss out of them. And
I'm
yeah,
the
I want
same.
Ray. I want Ray and a team of Gungans going on a mission. Do you remember that George Lucas deep fake reaction video to the Rise of Skywalker trailer? Yeah, put more Gungans in there. See you guys get all pissed off, get all worked up.
I can't help but think because those guys, like the jabs that they did with the Lucas deepfake to the Last Jedi, right? Like you could tell that they were pretty pissed off, like when they were taking the jab at the Silver Foxes and all of that. But I almost feel like after they saw Episode 8, they literally just stopped giving a shit about this thing
Yeah.
because and they flipped completely as well.
Yeah. Yeah, which is helpful because then the crystal foxes can escape from the cave. Oh, I love it. That's great.
you know, um, almost all of the criticisms, especially when we watched episode one last week, what I find funny about a lot of the criticisms people have towards the prequels, like, oh, Anakin should have just been a dark side dipshit right out of the gate with episode one. Well, that's pretty much their approach to Kylo, right? And none of them liked it.
Yeah.
Like it's. I just find it funny that the sequel trilogy catered to these guys in more ways than one, and they absolutely revile it. Like they fucking hate it. Like
Yeah.
it's just crazy. Like, is it
Yeah.
a classic? Be careful what you wish for, sort of
Yeah.
thing.
My word, it is. And it's that, and it's also, you know, there's not a single instance where you appease a mob by giving them what they want. Um, that just makes things worse generally.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy. I mean, didn't you
Yeah, I
see?
am too.
Didn't you see? Like, I'm very happy. Disney, keep bringing them out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
And I
I'm
want, yeah, I want more Ray and I want more Gungans.
yeah. I want that
And
Raylo. I want that Raylo movie
yeah,
just to
I'm gonna
really
check out the Ray
fucking
movie.
annoy them. But isn't it funny how, like, for the longest time they were all like, "Oh yeah, nah, Dave Filoni's our guy. It's going to be saved under Dave Filoni." And then what was it that you were telling me? What are they going to do when they realize Dave Filoni actually really likes Ray?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, it's like one of his
Yeah,
favorite
and
characters. Like, what are they going to do when they realize that?
yeah, and I don't think he's the yeah, I thought it was a bit of a strange one. I sort of I watched season one and a little bit of season two of the Clone Wars. I couldn't I watched one or two episodes of Rebels. I'm not sure if he had a hand in that or not, but yeah, some of his ideas are good, but a lot of it didn't really grab me. So I was a little bit wary of sort of his appointment. It doesn't it and I guess they got no choice. They're sort of he's a bit of a safe pick, but yeah, I don't I would love to see maybe a shepherd that has a really sort of bold creative vision. And one of the things I fear about Filoni is having been involved in it for so long, you know, you do get stale, and I don't know, maybe his best ideas are behind him. Because yeah, he worked on that show for a long time with Lucas, and they explored a lot of stuff. I think even Lucas said, you know, working on the Clone Wars TV show, it scratched a lot of itches he had about making the sequels, which was one of the reasons why he didn't do it. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It just seemed, yeah, I think he brings a bit too much baggage to that role as as a creative, as a chief creative officer or whatever he is. It just seems like the guy who there was a video clip that caught my eye about the guy who voices Darth Maul in this new series, and yeah, like Star Wars is really suffering from like lack of creative risk. Like all these products are just playing it so safe. It's yeah, it's like you mentioned, like it's pleasing no one. Like everyone's unhappy. Um, you know, you could like do a Lucas swing for the fences like he did with the prequels. Like one thing he didn't do was repeat himself or phone it in. Um, and we're still talking about him decades later because people really loved him or hated them. Whereas because everything's so bland and boring and lukewarm and milk toast, it's just, you know, like no one's happy.
Yeah, now nobody gets tickets because of you.
Yeah, yeah. I got rid of the box. Now nobody gets tickets to the box.
Yeah, I had to sell the motherfucker. And now nobody gets tickets because of you.
Oh, I love Mel.
Yeah, well, we all do, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very exciting times for him. He's
I'm
hard
re-
at work on
I'm
the
really
resurrection.
I'm really looking forward to the resurrection. I think that's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I
and I
know
think
that
it's a two-parter, isn't it?
yeah, it is. Yeah, and I know there's still people pissing blood that Jim Caviezel is not reprising Jesus Christ, and I'm like, well, it's been like 23 fucking years, man. Like, it would have been awesome if he did, but the time to have done that is, I mean, even a decade is too much. No, but I think it'll be all right. One thing that I am hoping for though is that when the resurrection comes out, it might get new ears to listen to the Oksana tapes.
I think we can count on that. It's
Like, I mean,
yeah, I
because
was glad as well.
hopefully it gets like a new lease on life.
Um, yeah, I agree. It would have been nice for Jim Caviezel to come back, but I love like Mel. He's such an old school filmmaker, isn't he? And sometimes modern filmmakers sort of over egg the pudding and overthink it. Yeah, it's a shame, but he's now aged out of the role. Just recast it. I think he said they briefly experimented with the de-aging stuff and just went, no, fuck it, we're just recasting.
Yeah,
It's
I
just such an old school thing to do, right?
yeah, and I actually like the fact because when this thing was announced with its release date and all of that sort of stuff, like that was set in stone confirmation that we're not even gonna bother um,
Yeah,
trying to do that because it would be such a tough sell.
yeah. No, he's done the right thing, Mel. Just that sort of old school approach. You know, we had the answer to these things years and years ago. You when an actor when the day comes when they've aged out of a role, you just go on to the next one. The show must go on.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of. Do you remember A View to a Kill? Um, the
Yeah,
final Roger Moore um, Bond film.
yeah,
Like, talk about staying around for just one too many. Because
yeah.
he looks incredibly fucking old and tired in that movie. And I'm like, what is he? He's like 66. Like, that's way too fucking old to be Bond.
Yeah, yeah, I think he hung around a little bit too long. Um, Truth be known, so did Craig as well. But I guess while they're still making money, they yeah probably didn't feel the need to sort of change out. Yeah, it's like hard to think. Daniel Craig was James Bond for nearly 20 years.
It was 20, wasn't it? Or just shy of it, I think.
Yeah, just shy of it. Yeah, getting close.
And he, funny enough, ends up becoming the very problem he was brought in to solve.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they take it.
But isn't
Um,
it getting like what? There's a Q fucking spin-off TV series, and there's like a Money Penny solo movie, and all this other bullshit.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's in the hands of Amazon now, so all this stuff, yeah, you'd think will appear in some form. Yeah, it sounds a bit, um, yeah,
but I look at it like I really do take a lot of cues from Duncan Casey when it comes to James Bond and all that sort of stuff. And that is like after Craig's stint with this thing, like that's pretty much it. Like wherever this thing goes now, like I mean, like you're now older than whoever they cast as the next Bond. You know, like like that's how I felt walking out of Superman last year. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stick with this. This is gonna be my Superman. I'm gonna see where this whole fucking new DCU goes, and that'll be it. Because whoever takes a crack at this thing after these guys is going to be younger than me, and the relationship
mm,
just isn't the same. I mean, when you get to the point when you physically age beyond the fictional character, like it does start hitting different. You know, like I'm older now than Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
You know, because like they're universally 30 years old, and like
Yeah.
and when you cross that threshold, like right then and there, like you kind of just, or at least I did, you just stop really clicking with them the way that you did. And I'd imagine it'd be even worse when they start casting actors that are like half your age.
Yeah. I think yeah, some things I feel with that sort of stuff, but there's also other things. I can still be a fan of things I enjoyed as a kid, but because some characters sort of lend themselves to that. Like I think you can tell some sort of darker stories with a character like Batman. A little bit of a danger doing that with Superman. That's probably not the road I'd go down with a character like that. But I can still, yeah, like with He-Man, it is 100% pure nostalgic bullshit for me. And like I'm well aware of that, you know. So I know he's a character that doesn't really work in this day and age, and he hasn't evolved and adapted and changed with the times the way something like a Transformers or a Ninja Turtles has. Which is so yeah, I can just sort of watch it and just appreciate it on that level. Whereas um, yeah, some things, yeah, you do sort of realize you've probably aged out of, sort of being a fan of it. I think inadvertently that's what happened to a lot of Star Wars fans when the prequels had come out. Um, if you were a fan of the original trilogy and were alive as a child to see it, like you're coming into Phantom Menace as an adult, or sort of late teens, early 20s at most, at the minimum. And when you're and we didn't have the internet to sort of hold our hand sort of through it, when it sort of just slaps you in the face that yes, this is geared towards youngsters and it's very slick and corporate sort of driven, people would have, it's sort of like a feeling of betrayal or something like that because the marketing was around, but it's not as immersive and as sophisticated as it is today. And when you see it's geared just so much towards children, yeah, people would have, yeah, no, there was a backlash to it because they weren't ready for it. A lot of sort of adult fans went in naive thinking that the thing they loved as a kid was going to grow up with them and sort of cater to their adult taste. And when it doesn't do that, they do bite back at it. Like I don't want drug-addled He-Man, it's primarily a
but that's
children's
but
toy line.
that's how you know it's mature though, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like you
Um,
like you gotta have him like running a fucking camgirl studio out of Grayskull because that's how you know it's
yeah,
mature and it's with the times and it's all that type of bullshit, right?
yeah. I don't want dark Power Rangers. I don't want dark anything really.
Yeah, I mean, don't she don't want the nice guy.
You need to channel your inner Chad, man.
Yeah, you need to channel your inner Chad, because I mean, because now you're competing with Graham and Phil, and there's no way you can break that imagery. I mean, not without years and years and years of fucking therapy. Oh, can I just say I love that moment in Agony Uncles? She don't want the nice guy. You need to channel your inner Chad.
Yeah, is that
Who the
I
fuck
think
said that? I'll.
it's yeah, he's part of a comedy duo, American Rosso, but I think he's met. Oh no, it's Rosso. Yeah, American
I think it
Rosso.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he's Merrick. No, he's Rosso because there was the gag he'd shave Rosso's beard, and he was the little nuggety guy was the guy with the beard. Lawrence Mooney, he was on it as well.
Lawrence Mooney cracked me the fucking hell up. in that. Like one of my favorite ones was, yeah, who doesn't like being interviewed? Ask her a bunch of questions about her life. Remember those facts, then lace them into the conversation later, and then she'll get the warm fuzzy feels of, oh, he remembered. Yeah, that's right. Take your clothes off.
Yeah. Um, is
What?
it Adam? I'm trying to remember the guy who did that show. It's Adam with a Z something. Um, Adam Zviz or some one. Because there were a couple of follow-up shows. He did Agony Arts, which was from the female perspective, but there was a good one as well. The Agony of Modern Living or Modern Manners, where it's where those same dudes just sort of walk you through all the shit people put up with at work and that sort of stuff. It was, yeah, a really good comedy show as well.
Yeah, I never saw the other ones. Um, but I'd like to watch that final one though. Yeah, like
Yeah.
what was the one that Waleed said? Like, I like what does my mate do when he's trying to get with the ladies? He walks them through his secret herb garden. Now, who the fuck has a secret herb garden? Only deeply sensitive, caring people have herb gardens.
I liked what he said. Yeah, anytime a woman asks for your honest opinion, she's
She's
asking you to lie.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime a woman is asking you for your honest opinion, it's about being validated. And hang on, like I think Kick Curry said it. Like I think he mentioned it later. He was like, whenever they ask you a question like that, like there's no right answer at all. Like you
Yeah.
fuck no matter
I
what you
wish
do. So it's just easier to just put it back on them.
yeah, I really like Kit Gurry. It's a shame he wasn't in more stuff. I'm not
Yeah,
even sure if he's even still acting anymore. I really enjoy a lot of Kick Gurry stuff when he
he's a.
was younger.
Hang on, do you remember this? Yeah, Kick Gurry. Yeah, what looking for Alibrandi? He was the what, and he was Sparky in the Wachowski's Speed Racer.
Yeah,
He
no, he's good. I like
he
him.
gets around a little bit. What do you remember the story in Agony Uncles when he calls the girlfriend, but then the new boyfriend answers the phone, and then Kick is just sitting there. There's like it's hard to tell though if she was breaking up with me for him or him with me. I,
Oh, that's
and
gold.
they could like none of the three could figure out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
I actually really yeah, crack up at that. And what was the other one? Those sort of introspective skills that no one should know about. Like I'd probably keep, your Rubik's cube solving skills a secret around her. I probably wouldn't be doing that. I also like what Brett Tucker said. Look, if you go in there and you tell her that your favorite movie is The Princess Bride, it's it's not really going to work for you.
Uh, which is a shame because it's a cracker of a movie.
Yeah, I know it's an awesome movie, but he's got a truth there though.
That's Mandy Patinkin. Is that yeah, he's Inigo Montoya. And Carrie Ewells, isn't it? The Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Carrie Hills,
Good Lord, that's an old one.
and then yeah, telling her that your favorite. Well, when did Agony Uncles come out?
Oh, probably mid 2000s,
Yeah,
mid to late 2000s.
my favorite one. Um, and this is reminding me of Metin right now. My favorite one was the breakup episode. How do you handle it? I like what Lawrence Mooney said. Like, because it comes at it from different ways. Like, how do you break up with them? How do you get them to break up with you? And what happens when they just fucking break up with you? Full stop. I always liked the Lawrence Mooney one when he's just like total steel face. All right. Like, you're not smirking, you're not quivering, nothing, just total steel face. You've just been told very bad news from your now, like your soon to be ex girlfriend. You smile, you say, okay, thank you, and then you walk away. And then you fucking just completely lose it when you're private. Yeah, there's a white pad in front of you. Yeah, alright. Oh, beautiful, we're there now. Um, Yeah, the breakup one was my favorite of the lot. Why won't it let me? Oh, no, there it is. I've almost finished this. I'm actually looking forward to smashing this out just tonight and do this as a one shot. That's why I'm really just hooning through it. Um, yeah, and Kick's got a call from his girlfriend's boyfriend. What about? Do you remember the chapter when they're talking about how long do you wait before you make the first call after you lock the number down? And like what you got people saying, oh, it's 2 days, it's 3 days, and then you have that one bloke. I would recommend no longer than 18 months because then it's just fucking weird. Like, what have you got on that's so busy that you can't go the next day? Like, what are you, the president?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time. I've had a lot of fun with the SBS app, but that was an ABC show. I don't have the ABC app. I wonder if it's streaming anywhere. I haven't actually watched it in a long time.
I bought it on YouTube because I saw it was there, and
Okay.
I managed to score the 2010 seasons of the Gruen Nation as well, the one that had John Hewson on.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Because I
Well,
write.
isn't hasn't they've done amazing with Gruen. It's still soldiering on.
Yeah, I know, and
It's
I can't get over like I saw Will Anderson for the first time in a fucking long time the other day, and I'm like, wow, man,
he's a bit of a
he's rocking that
silver
silver
fox.
fox, man. Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
man, he's fucking. Well, when you think about it, like what the seasons that I'm remembering of Gruen were 16 years ago, but you know Russell
Yeah, well,
Howcroft is still doing his thing.
it was, yeah, well, I think it premiered in 2008, but I was flicking through channels, I think last year, and it randomly came on. Thinking, yeah, I was amazed it was still on. That's yeah, pretty impressive that they're still around. And it was quite a good episode. So yeah, they've done all right for themselves.
I love the John Hewson thing when they played the Willisey clip talking about the cake. I always like what John Hewson said after that. The tragic thing about that clip is that I felt I was giving an honest answer to what I think was a difficult question.
Yeah.
I should have looked Mike Wilson in the eye and said, "Piss off."
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Is there any actual strategy to this? Well, it's basically bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like the Gruen Nation ones talking about like political ad campaigns and all of that. I wasn't too big on the like I jumped off with Gruen Planet, like that one really didn't do it for me. Gruen Sweat didn't really do it for me. But I think it was mostly because I was just laughing my ass off at anything John Hewson said.
Yeah. He was good value.
Yeah, I always like it when they played that clip with the egg, when that guy tried to throw the egg at him and he caught the fucking egg at that rally. I got accused of practicing that. Yeah, that was really good. I really like those ones, but it's weird the sort of shit that you can find and you can you can score on these sites. Like I'm like Gruen Nation has probably had like 15 seasons since then, but the only one that I could track down and actually buy was the one that I was after, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, no, that's a good score. Yeah.
And yeah, Agony Uncles. I do need to check out the other ones though. I don't really think be giving Agony Aunts the watch. Like, I'm sure it's great and all of that, but man, come on. It's fucking totally not for me. Nothing about it is for me. But I will check out that other one. I think the problem that I have with the other series that came out of that was it's because the Uncles one was just so fucking funny.
Yeah, a couple of them get recycled for the agony of modern living. Lawrence Mooney and a few of the others. But yeah, I enjoyed that one as well. Yeah, I like the one about um yeah, the stuff about going to work. That was a good one. So I think yeah, it's the agony of modern living and the agony of modern manners, I think. I just can't remember the guy's name. He's the narrator. It's Adam Zawar or something. He had a really unique name.
Yeah, you're being asked to lie. Yeah, pretty much all of the Lawrence Mooney shit was good. Like I remember what the one that he told where what he was going out with his Sheila and then they broke up. But then he calls the option number two and then he goes out with her and he ends up telling her about the breakup that he just went through. This horrific story of pain and sexual degradation on a first date. Oh, far out. I actually really like, yeah, the breakup episode is probably my favorite one. And what about the living together thing? Like when you start crossing that line. I like what Kit Gurry says. You know what? If you really want out and you don't want to fall into those kind of commitments, like you just drop. I don't really think it's in my life's mission to have children. If you drop that bomb, you've got about a month. I can't help but think that that's something that he's done.
Yeah.
And what is it like? Like what you're living together and the relationship's drying up and all that sort of shit. You've noticed the way she chews food and all this sort of stuff. Where do you go from there? And what did one of them say? I can't remember who said it exactly, but one of them threw this out there, and it was if you come home from work and you can see the lights are on in the house and you know she's in there. If you sit in your seat idling in the driveway for anything longer than 5 minutes, you're on borrowed time. Oh, good shit. So this is the freezer battle. So yeah, I'll knock this one out. And then that's it for. I knew it was a very short game. I knew I could get one stream out of it, so that's why I wanted to do Legacy of Goku 1 tonight. Just because you not really have to think about much. I just flicked God mode on because I forgot how fucking annoying the game can be. But I'm just sort of breezing through it right now. I might even check out Agony Uncles now that we're on break. It's been a minute since I've actually seen it from start to finish. Because what? Doesn't it go like the single man dating, living together, breaking up, and then the single man again? I think that's how it all goes out.
Yeah, yeah, I haven't seen it in a long, long time.
Oh, what about what old mate said? If they've got daddy issues, run a mile. Like, no, seriously, because you know you're most of the time you're part boyfriend, potential husband, and the rest of the time you can't counselor. Stay away. Fucking hell. I mean, we hadn't even ordered. What about the one when they're talking about deliberately sabotaging your relationship so that they break up with you and you don't have to do it? Like, you think it's one of the better ways of going about it. It's actually one of the worst ways of going about it.
Yeah.
I really like the sprite work on Third Form Freezer there. You know, I was rewatching some old Chases War on Everything ad road test. Do you remember the Subway one with Bob Francis?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I love the nicknames that Chaz keeps using every time he calls in. What was it, Keith?
Yeah, they got a lot of mileage out of Bob Francis. They punked him a couple of times.
I wonder if he ever found out. Like, I mean, well, let's be honest. It was mostly Chaz that was doing that, but I just love how Chaz goes in there, and I love the pictures that they use. For both of them. But yeah, with the Subway road test, when he took that commercial for Subway sandwiches, and then he used it to punk Bob Francis, and then he fucking flipped out. Oh, you're talking shit. You don't know what you're talking about. Apparently, one of the reasons, like I think Media Watch mentioned this, the reason why Bob could get so aggro and no one really did anything about it was because they didn't go out of their way to fire him or slap him on the wrist or anything like that. What they did was they just knocked him off to like those late graveyard shifts on the air where no one's fucking listening to him, because it was easier to do that than to sort of just keep moderating him all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the graveyard slot, you can always get away with a little bit more.
You're a dick brain. I think he called Chris Taylor a dick brain. I can't remember what about. I still really like the citizens infringement officer ones as well. Do you remember the wanker number plate ones?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, DRIF7N. Mate, is that trying to say drifting? I always like what that bloke said to him. Don't be a dickhead, man. Well, you know what? If you take that good advice yourself. I miss Julian. See, but that's another thing as well. Like you got to remember. I wonder why we don't. I wonder why they don't put the Chaser back on TV, because those guys are like in their 60s now.
Yeah, you see them occasionally and other stuff, but
I think Julian
yeah, I'll have to
Morrow these days
download.
is pretty much a producer only these days.
Yeah, I'll have to download the ABC app because I think hope surely they do a good job of keeping all their old shows archived.
Well, you'd like to think so. Nothing shits me more when you get something that funny and then it fucking gets lost to time because no one thinks it's important enough to
Yeah,
keep around.
really.
Fucking annoying.
Yeah, lost media. It's yeah, it is annoying when stuff you liked you can't go back and retrieve. But I'm loving the SBS On Demand app. I got it for the World Cup for the soccer, and it's just great. It's like they got a ton of good stuff on there. I've been working my way through the Rambos overnight. There's some Chinese martial arts films that I want to check out. Some early Jackie Chan stuff. Yeah, good. Lots of crime shows as well, and it's all free. That's the best part. It's and they do a good job of updating it and adding new stuff, and it's just so easy to navigate. It's yeah, it's been great. I'm glad I finally got around to it.
Mm-hmm. Okie dokie, have a strokey. As that ticks over, you got much you checking out this weekend?
Um, yeah, I want to check out the prophecy. Um, yeah, just while doing some prep for end of days, there was I thought a good discussion point we could have when we sit down and do that movie was just talking about other incarnations of Satan in different films, sort of try and rank where Gabriel Byrne sits. And I'm told apparently Viggo Mortensen does a really good job as Lucifer in this film with Christopher Walken called The Prophecy, which came out in 1995.
She's
So I want to
screaming.
sit down and
Amy's screaming.
yeah, I want to sit down and watch that one. It got three sequels, but they, albeit direct to video, but Walken does return for the sequel one, so it might be worth watching. because Vigo was around then. He was established, but he was always sort of a bit part player. His his breakthrough in Lord of the Rings was still a few years off. Um, but yeah, people have lauded his portrayal as Lucifer in this movie called The Prophecy. So I want to sit down and watch that one before I do anything else. Yeah. What about yourself?
Ideally, sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you got a bit of time off, so
um, yeah. I'll crash out when I reach it. It's like the classic moment in Lost when Jack goes out to the line and he spends the whole episode screaming. And then it cuts back later that night, and then Kate asks him, "So what are you going to do next?" "Well, I'm going to get my voice back, and then I'm going to scream some more."
yeah.
Mm. But no, I want to finish cutting up episode 1. I want to get that uploaded. And yeah, we'll definitely do End of Days. Like, where does Gabriel Byrne rank? I mean, well, I'll save this, but one thing that I want to really draw attention to is the choir boy moment in End of
Yeah.
Days. I just love the eyebrow raise that Gabriel Byrne gives him. Like, that is like the most fucking suave I think any depiction of Lucifer has ever had.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, you're a fucking choir boy compared to me.
Yeah, that's probably the most memorable line in the whole movie.
Jesus, Mark, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Jesus, Marge, what the fuck?
yeah, you fucking shot me just a scratch. Like, I mean, it's hard to tell if the movie is trying to be serious or not. I don't think it is. When shit like that starts happening, but I always love that little shot of Gabriel Byrne when Schwarzenegger is just ripping him a fucking new asshole, just screaming at him about how he's a choir boy. You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. I just love the eyebrow raise. I think it's just brilliant. Like, the amount of smugness that was in that. That's what I reckon, at least.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'll give that one another watch because I also want to check it out again before we do it. Because this week it was just fucking balls out. But now that it's over, um, yeah, no, I want to do it again and not sort of try to cram it in there. Because had we have done it tonight, I would have done Shithouse. Um, but no, I'll check it out again. And it sounds like you got a few things that are simmering along that you need to check out, and then so maybe knocking it off was the right move. I think it was, and then we'll do that. I want to have episode 1 uploaded. I might even do that tomorrow. Shouldn't take too long to finish it up and get back into that. I found the footage for the Green with Evil ones as well, so I might do those. I just need to take out those intervals like every 20 minutes. I just need to take a few things out of them. Because, oh yeah, hang on a minute, mate, I gotta go for a piss. Like, I just need to crop those things out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing the End of Days.
Yeah, right. Well, I'll wrap it up, I suppose. I'll yeah, catch you back here in a week, all right?
Yeah, no, yeah, man, sounds pretty good. It's been an awesome sort of night tonight. Like, what? So fucking yeah, I just finished up Legacy of Goku. I still need to finish Ocarina of Time. I've got all the sculptures and all of the heart pieces. That really just needs to have Ganon killed, and then that's done. And we also need to go back and finish off Fall of Cybertron because I don't want to be in the habit of leaving shit. Fucking, I don't like starting a game that we don't finish. So I need to go back and do that one. But I don't know, Transformers has been pretty quiet lately. I mean, like, the Studio Series figures that have come out, like, are all reskins of something. Like, they've been that way for a while, but like, what, you got the Cyclonus, you got the Astro Train, you got the Wheeljack, and you've got the the Sunstreaker. Like, none of those are actually new toys at all. Like, so it's just sort of been, Transformers has just sort of fallen away from me a little bit there. But yeah, I might still stay on my Dragon Ball kick and all of that. I've been doing a lot of drawing again as well. I'd like to do a bit of a stream where and um, just fill up a couple of pages. Because I don't really know how I could fucking do up a camera for it. But hey, look, we put a man on the moon, all right. I'm pretty sure we can figure that out.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, no, I'll check out a few things like that, and I'll have to rewatch Agony Uncles. But nah, things are going pretty good. You know, yeah, all in all, not a bad night. So I might just cap out the stream there.